we will go on to founder or company number 2, Peter Greshnov. RIDY, prepare your screen and tell me when you're ready to start, Peter.
Thing. All right. I think I should be ready to start. You guys can hear me well and see the presentation, right?
Do you want to go to full screen?
Sure thing.
Okay. 1958, start, please.
All right. Greetings, everyone. It's Team RIDY here. Here at RIDY, we envision a future where every ride-share car in the world has a shop on the go. So we can help millions of drivers to get extra income, while billions of rides would be much more valuable for passengers. Our unique vending solution and marketplace turns both of these issues into growth opportunities. We have patented vending technology that helps drivers to earn extra income, while passengers gain access to new user-friendly service while on the ride. Our proposition combines our hardware solution for the vending device itself and the classic Web 2.0 marketplace connected to the device. Passengers sitting on the back seat can scan the QR code located on the seat in front of them and open associated marketplace webpage on the handheld device. On that page, all the products added by the driver into the device would be displayed and are available for the purchase for the price set by the drivers themselves. Once the transaction is complete, corresponding compartment of the device would open automatically and passengers would be able to pick up the selected products. We already have traction. First of all, we conducted a 3-month-long pilot that gave us valuable insights on passengers' behavior. Secondly, we secured strategic partnership with local branches of global FMCG producers. Today, we have more than 2,500 subscribers to our social media and newsletters worldwide. And we just ended our spring sale campaign aimed for the US market. Over 150 devices were pre-ordered over the past couple of months. Our business model at that point is built around 2 main revenue sources. First one would be production and distribution of vending devices. Currently, there are 3 types of devices in our pipeline, varying by style, size, and materials. Second, marketplace fee transactions. We're planning to take around 5% of every purchase made on our marketplace. Our current business development plan spans across the next 5 years, and we are aiming to reach profitable state in the next 3 years with just above 22K of active users. In order to reach these goals, we are aiming to establish our presence in the biggest English-speaking taxi and e-hailing markets in the world, United States, UK, and then eventually expand to Asia. Our market depth estimate comes from the following assumptions. The total number of rides a year multiplied by around 10% of passengers making purchases, and that gives us pretty promising numbers. Here are just a few competitive advantages of our solution. First of all, we got extremely positive feedback from both drivers and passengers during our pilot. Second, the RIDY system is designed from the ground up to be as scalable and cost-effective as possible. And our solution is already protected by local patents owned by our company. So here is our go-to-market strategy at the moment. This year, we're launching our US-based MVP and bootstrapping ourselves with the goal to reach 1,000 active users by the end of the year. In the next years, we are planning to widen our presence in the United States and start our expansion to our Asian markets with the ultimate goal to establish ourselves on India and China markets by the end of the decade. Our team consists of 3 co-founders leading 3 main aspects of business development. Our CEO, Boris, is responsible for general management, marketing, and funding. Myself, Peter, I'm responsible for technical solutions and architecture. And Maria takes care of manufacturing, logistics, and operations. So that's about it. And we welcome you to join us in redefining in-car vending and making life on the go easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Just in under the time. So we've got an extra 20 or 30 seconds for the judges to ask questions. Okay. Which one of the judges would like to kick off the conversation?
I'll go first.
Good. Okay, Roger.
I think it's a great idea. Makes a lot of sense. My question is, what's the moat? How are you going to protect against competition besides patent? Because I don't see how patent is going to prevent competition from coming in. So I'd like to know more about your strategy for competition, and also what's prevent the driver from selling the stuff in their own car rather than having it go through you. So those are the two things I'm more concerned about.
Thank you, Roger, for your question. So first thing, what could prevent other companies? We're building this business for quite a while right now, and we're actually kicked off this whole idea from experiencing something similar in one of the Asian countries, and it was not the most pleasant experience because products were just hanging around the car, and people just had to pay with cash and interact directly with the driver during the ride, and all of this ends up in pretty messy experience. In our case, we are automating this whole process as much as possible while at the same time keeping the cost of the entire system pretty low. So we're looking at something about at the device cost of about $50, which is quite cheap for this type of I would say quite a higher technical product. All right. So the first thing is that we're providing exceptional service. We're eliminating the need of interactions between the driver and the passengers during the purchase, and we're providing quite a secure experience for both sides. So we are controlling the products that they're selling. So we're not allowing to sell anything restricted or license it or something like that. So we're not exposing any sides of this whole deal to any possible harmful effects. Regarding our patent, well, in some wild places, of course, that would not save us from someone who would try to recreate the same experience. But in a regulated environment, this whole solution with automated locks is exactly the same, the thing that we have patented. So if anyone would try to recreate similar setup, it most likely would require our license. Another type of setup is when someone puts a box with the products right between the front seats, and this represents basically the same issues that I was referring earlier. Manual interaction between the driver and the passenger, so no automation, no online payments, and so on. So our quantities are quite above our competitors.
I can ask the next question.
Sorry, yeah, probably I was
Go
too
on,
long
Andrew.
with the answer. Yeah.
Okay. This is the second time I saw it, and it gets better. I think that's good. My question is, I don't like all these small ticket items. You know, it would be great if you could figure out like what's the next step. You know, whether that's buying a massage or an airline ticket, or is there anything that you have in your vision that you can move on to so that you can start going beyond, let's say, relatively low ticket impulse buys?
Absolutely, and we already had an attempt to partner with um, let's say a tourist company that that actually distributes tickets to amusement parks and so on, and we just didn't find a appropriate connection there. But the idea, the direction is absolutely correct. So we're looking forward to go away from low profitable products costing around $1 or so to something that might cost let's say 30, 50, $60, something like an e-tickets to an amusement parks, or let's say a railway tickets, or tickets to a sports event, or some sort like that. We're also looking for options to incorporate advertising delivery through our system, whether it would be a printed materials, or whether we integrate a tablet displaying some ads into our vending device. So that's also an option, and we're also working into this direction.
Jonathan or Brian, do you have a question? Jonathan
Hello.
or Brian?
Am I
Jonathan,
unmuted?
go ahead.
Oh, I'm unmuted. Okay. Again, I've seen this presentation. I really like the idea. Good opening. Love the idea of an extension. I just have a very practical question. This is, I think this is going to become a marketing problem. You're going to be able to sell stuff. It just depends on whether you'll be able to impulse people to buy these things. But very practically, how will this be refilled? It looks like there's one bottle of each in here. Do they have to go back to base to refill? Does the driver refill it? How does it work?
Yeah, so currently we're building our model around individual drivers, so they would take care of the stocks themselves. And they might have a cool box in the trunk. They might have, let's say, a spare device. When the first one is empty, they can just switch and hang the full device as a replacement. And so there are options definitely. And we are also exploring our options of pairing with, let's say, taxi companies that runs a fleet of vehicles. So, of course, in this case, it would not be practical to assign a driver with the task of refilling these devices, right? So that would have to be done in a centralized manner somewhere where these drivers arrive in once a week, let's say, to maintain their cars or something like that. So that's an option, but for that we have to find an appropriate partner with appropriate fleet of cars. And I also mentioned the partnership with Mars and Pepsi that we already secured. Although this partnership is not the worldwide, so it's just a local partnership, but it was actually based on this exact idea of buying in whole, like buying in trucks and supplying hundreds of cars with refillable products, with the spare products. So that is something that these companies are really interested in, rather than selling their products to individual drivers on a low scale. So that's another direction in which we also explore options how to develop our business.
Okay. I think I think that the devil is in the detail on that one, and your costs could totally balloon there. But I love the idea if you can solve that problem.
Brian closes out with the questions for Peter.
Okay, all right. Congratulations, Peter. It's great to see you again. Love the presentation, love the traction page, love the numbers and progress. So congratulations. Really, two quick ones, right? Can you tell us how many caps do you have right now? Like that jacket being installed in, and also how many cap riders or registered users or app users do you have, and what is the percentage of people who register your app are actually paying for something?
Well, on this slide, we can see that right now on our, like I already mentioned, we just ended our pre-sale campaign for the United States, and we were able to sell 150 devices. So these are the devices that are already paid for, and users are waiting for the delivery. About 30 devices we already sent to those users, and they're just arriving right now. So we are setting them up just literally right now so that they start using these devices, and we'll start to sell anything, basically anything they like in their taxis. So that's in a nutshell, 150 users that have already paid for their vending devices is the number that we are looking at right now. On top of that, we have
100 users mean drivers or number of caps.
These are the drivers that paid for the devices. They
Okay.
and they are waiting for these devices to be delivered, and then they would install those devices into their cars and start selling, right? So those are not the users that are looking to make purchases in our using our solution. So actually, in order to make a purchase, we try to make it as seamless as possible. So user would just scan the QR code, visit the web page. They don't have to have an account there. They don't have to sign up or sign in, and just on the step when they would actually pay for the selected product, they would have to provide their phone number and their email address so that they would get the receipt, and that's it. So we are not setting up any extra walls for the purchases, right? So we're trying to make this purchase process as seamless as possible.
Okay,
awesome.
that's our 10 minutes. Let's take a minute, judges, just to decide on your score, 1 to 5, and your concluding thoughts. And as soon as someone's ready to go, kick us off.
I'll go first. The score is a 2. I think this is a great business. I am having problems seeing this as a startup to a scale up, but I can see a lot of great opportunity for exits, quick exit in the next 2 to 3 years. But the vision of, I don't see the vision of this being a long-term play, because I don't see the protective moat, and I think you're going to get yourself into a lot of headache with basically operating a logistic and warehousing issue. So I think it's a great business. I just think you should think about a profitable exit to one of the large players, because that's going to happen very, very soon. You have a great idea. I'm just not sure you can capitalize on that for the long term. So it's a 2.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll give you a 3, and I give you a 3 because, well, you've survived to this point, so that's good. That you're viable to this point. I feel the same as Roger, that it's very, I think your number one issue in your presentation is how to convince people that you can really scale this. I think that's the biggest challenge, and that's the reason why I was asking that question. The other thing I just want to advise is that try to keep your answers short. It's the hardest thing to do, Peter, but just try to like hit it and then hold back, and then you weren't excessively long, but I just felt like in this very short amount of time, try to be as tight as possible as in your responses. That's it for me.
Okay.
So I'll give you my feedback based just on the presentation, right? So I think the business itself, I think the others have touched on it. The scaling is tricky as opposed to software, right? But the presentation itself, I give you a 4. I understood immediately what you were selling. I understood where you wanted to go with it. So I think this as a business, is it a venture-backed business? Probably not in the current state. Is it a good PE business, perhaps, or family office business where, you know, exit in 2 rounds? Possibly. But for the presentation itself, I think it was very clear. So.
Okay. Brian, close us off.
I'll start by saying it's a 4 to me. Like Jonathan said, it's very clear. And then you showed us the actual product, and then you actually sold something. So I think that's very clear. I do have the same question, just like, you know, other judges. How do you scale it? You kind of touch on it a little bit on the go-to-market slide, but we want to hear more. Now, you kind of, the proof of concept, it kind of like, you made it, right? And somebody's, you know, paying for it right now. You got to tell us how you're going to scale it. I don't think I've heard that enough. So I'm sure we'll hear from you, Peter, again and again. So tell us more in the next round. Thank you.
And what's your mark, Brian?
4.
Thank you, everyone.
Brian, what is your score?
Me?
Brian, what is your score? 1 to 5?
4. Can you hear me, John?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, a 4 for tonight.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Okie doke.